Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance, and you are looking at a Hummel. That's a Tier 6 German SPG, and we're on the east spawn of Airfield, and it's being driven by Sacuka, and he's quite a good player, at least his stats suggest he is. So let's see how he gets on in this battle. Now, as many of you know, the gun that's on the Hummel is similar to the one on the Grilla. In fact, the stock gun on the Hummel is exactly the same as on the top gun of the Hummel, of the Grilla. So it's a pretty effective and accurate SPG. 15cm gun. Okay, so Sacuka's setting up. And he's ready to shoot. He's loaded. He's now hunting for targets. Nothing yet. Okay, he's heavy tank number 6 heading towards the heavy encounter area, but he's aiming for a T-34-85. Now, unfortunately, it's on that rise, so it's very difficult for it to hit with the trajectory of this gun. Such a low trajectory, but very fast firing gun. It would be a very difficult strike for him to hit that T-34-85. It's probably not worth his bother trying. You need them to come up on top of the hill in order to hit them accurately. You can hit that 59-16 accurately. Lets the aim dial in, rounds out, and he strikes it. 313 hit points. As soon as they've come up the hill and they're topped at the rise, then they're much easier to strike. And you can hit this hawk as well. He's still reloading. He's indicating it's his target with T-key. Needs it to poke its nose up just a little bit more. Rounds out. And he hits the target. He did hit it. The shell disappeared without there being an explosion. So we know that he hit that target, but we've lost the two tanks that were guarding the that area of the hill, and there's only one, a T-34-100 now. He's trying to use the hill to actually protect himself from that T-34-85. But now he's popped up onto the top, he's a lot more vulnerable. And I think that, nope, Sacuka's going after this Udes, which is seen at the back. It's a tank destroyer. They're very slow when they're in a siege condition. He gets a hit in there, 218 hit points for the splash. Whilst in siege mode, these Udes are very slow, so it makes it an easier target for him. Okay, he's going for the T-34-85, now it's up on the top, it's a lot easier to hit. Okay, it's facing off against an enemy, so he can put a round into the side, rounds out, and right into the side of the T-34-85, 328 hit points. Wow. And that's made him back off, and he's been taken out. He's been killed by the T-34-100 who was hanging around. Okay. He's now aiming at that T-34-85, the one that was poking the hill earlier. Excuse my cough. Okay, shoots around in, and it does hit the target. That T-34-85 did move, and it went right into the shell. Now he's aiming for the heavies and indicating he's going for the IS-3. Still waiting for the reload. Now the IS-3's gone missing, but you can see that IS. It's pulled back a bit. Now he can see the IS-3, so he can put a round into it. Rounds out. And a good hit. 306 hit points, 3 critical hits and a good stun. That's going to help his team. He hasn't moved from this position. He could be vulnerable if he's located. The score's fairly even at the moment, 4-all. Okay, the T-34-100 managed to get a good hit into that T-34-2G tank destroyer, and he shoots around into it. As you know, as I said earlier, it's very difficult to shoot at them when they're on that rise, and the round overshot. Okay, the Oni that was on his team, on Sacuka's team, has actually been taken out. So he needs to find or shoot that IS that was there. But he's lost sight of it. Okay, the Hawk 12 that he hit earlier in the game with a blind shot has been found. He's on top of the hill near the amphitheatre, facing off against the T-34. No, he's facing off against the Rebel Arise. Okay, T-34-100s is the down at the bottom now, and he shoots around and kills the Hawk 12. 53 hit points. He's got the Poodle the other side of that rise, and the T-34-100 takes out the T-34-85 that was plaguing him with on that rise right at the start of the battle. Now we know that UDES is around there somewhere, and there's an IKV-90 has been spotted, but the Tiger P on the enemy seas hiding, and there's the IKV-90, has been spotted now, he's moved. Okay, if you can shoot around in there, unfortunately it's pulled back behind the rock. If it pulls forward, it does. He shoots around and he gets splash of 127, 3 critical hits. And he's changed position again. He's going after the UDES, which was spotted towards the south. Seems to be guarding the south approaches. That Poodle's unusually slow. I think it might be carrying a damaged engine or a wounded driver. They've managed to take out the T-34-2G. We found a Steer Waffenträger over the far north of the airfield. If he stays there and lets him dial in, he is shot out and he hits the rock. Right, he hasn't moved all battle. This is it's not very secure doing it that way, but he can see an IS, and he's getting a request for assistance, fire assistance. That's the crosshairs above the tank. He's aiming for it. Rounds out. Oh, splash right in front of him, but tracked the vehicle. In fact, 2 Arty rounds went in almost simultaneously. He needs to focus on that, either on the Tiger P or the IS. The scores are fairly even now. So the enemy team's got 2 heavy tanks, and he needs to even that up, and he does! The Poodle manages to take out the IS, but he does some damage to the Tiger P in the process, so can he get another round in? That Tiger P is using the wreck as a shield, the wreck of the IS-3. Shoots a round in. No, it hits the wreck. Does cause critical hits, but it hits the wreck. Now, if he was to relocate, he might be able to get a better angle. Now, they're 2 tanks down now. It's just 2 tank destroyers and 2 Arty versus 6 tanks on the enemy team. And that Steer Waffenträger has just taken out the IKV-90, which means now it's just 1 tank destroyer and 2 Arty versus 6 enemy. Okay, he's getting a request for fire on the Steer Waffenträger. He can line it up for a shot, rounds out. No, it's a bit... That was too wide. Too wide. Now it's got a long reload. And we've mostly lost sight of the enemy, so that UDES needs to come in from the far side to help them so they can spot. The other team member is an SU-8. Now he's at the very back of the map. And that's probably where the enemy is going to go first. Okay, the UDES is coming down from the north. He's going right down the back of the map, or rather down the east side of the map. And they've spotted the IKV-90. And he shotguns the... he shots down the UDES that came up from the south. Wow. That was probably why he was staying where he is, but they lost the SU-8. Meanwhile, the UDES destroyed the IKV-90, so the score's now 2-4. So it's a 2-1 advantage to the enemy, but they've spotted the Tiger P. Okay, he's lining up a shot, rounds out, and he gets a good shot in. 324 hit points, 2 critical hits. And it looked like that round hit the engine deck, so it's probably badly damaged it. And yes, the UDES has taken out the Tiger P. So we've now just got the Steer Waffenträger and the 2 enemy Artys, which are an AMX-13F3 and an M44. Probably 2 of the most deadly of the enemy's Artys that they might face, because the AMX is fast. And they've managed to take out the Steer Waffenträger. Yes, the AMX-13F3s are very fast French Tier 6 SPG, and the M44 is probably one of the most liked SPGs of all, because it's a very fast, very hard hitting and fast reloading SPG. In the right hands it can be devastating. Unfortunately it loads a lot faster than the Hummel does, and the Hummel's only got 2 rounds left. See the mark of excellence on the barrel of Sacuka's gun. I think they're both guessing that the enemy Arty is probably in grid squares C1, C2 or D1, D2. But Sacuka's aiming as if he thinks it's actually going to be at the back of the map, and he's hoping the UDES will find it first. And from this position he is fairly well concealed, but if he fires he will be spotted if the enemy is close enough. But the view range on the M44 is not that great. It's about 250 meters, in which case he should be still out of sight if the enemy is in C1, C2 or D1 and D2. And so I think there's a good chance they are, but if they're not, they've probably moved back to the enemy cap, to their cap. Ah, they've been found. Okay, now can get a shot in on this AMX. Rounds out. And it's 267 hit points. Left it on 3 hit points. He's only got 1 shell left. And the UDES takes out the AMX. Now, where's that M44? The Hummel's indicating to the UDES, go into the cap. Force the M44 to come to you. They are capping. Given the ammunition supply of the Hummel, this is probably the right move. Of course, he is on for a Fadin's if he can kill the M44 with his last shell. He's going to get a Fadin's medal. Sounds like the M44 fired in a round into the cap. That sounded like an explosion in the cap area, but we didn't see any tracer. Primarily because the Hummel wasn't looking for the tracer. There's the enemy Arty. There's the M44. He's up on the rise, right above. And he's coming down and he shotguns him as he tries to go over the edge of the cliff. Oh my god, he tries to land on top of the Hummel, but the Hummel gets him by shotgunning him. Wow, that was an amazing finish. Well done, Sacuka. What a way to end the battle. Crumbs. And he got an ace tanker for the Hummel, Sacuka. He also picked up a bruiser medal for scoring at least 5 critical hits, module damages or crew incapacitations. He got a Gore's medal because he did 10 times the hit points of his own vehicle in damage. And he got that Fadin's medal that I mentioned. He scored the last kill of the game with the last shell in his magazine. On top of which, he also picked up a Confederate because he hit more of the enemy than anyone else in his team, at least 6 vehicles, which were subsequently destroyed by members of his own team. And on top of that, he picked up the high caliber because he did the most damage on his team, at least 20% of the total hit points of the enemy vehicles. If we look at the team scores, we can see he picked up 2,929 hit points in total. He got 3 kills, which put him second, and he scored the highest amount of base XP, 1,463 hit points in total. Of base XP, sorry, not hit points in total, base XP. He also fired 18 rounds, got 10 direct hits, 10 penetrations, 7 splash, 2,929 hit points of damage, of which 2,564 hit points were at more than 300 meters. That M44 was a lot closer when he took that one out, as well as the UDES that came up onto the rise. He spotted 1 enemy vehicle. I think that was the M44, and he damaged 10, destroyed 3. He also did stun damage or stun assistance of 1,344 hit points and caused 14 stuns. On a standard account, he earned 48,587 credits. That's normally the score you'd see for a premium account, not a standard account. But after deductions for ammunition and the consumables, he only took away 8,427 credits. He earned 1,463 base XP, times 3 for first victory of the day, and an additional personal reserve bonus. He took away 5,852 experience points in total. But I think we're all going to remember the way you took out that M44 as it was coming at you directly over the cliff edge and shotgunned him as he tried to jump on top of you. That was an amazing end to the battle. So well done, Sacuka. I enjoyed that. If you liked this replay, please do give it a like and do subscribe to our channel. It helps support Arty Noobs out. And hopefully I will see you in the next replay.